We have news, Broncos country. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and yes, week 2 of OTAs has come to a close, so we have to break down everything that has gone on this week, including, but not limited to, some of the major takeaways from the last 3 days at OTAs, 3 players that have balled out, and a little update on the J.K. Dobbins facilities visit, where Sean Payton sounded off and answered questions about potentially vying for J.K. Dobbins services. And this is why you subscribe, right? It is completely 100% free. It helps out the channel, and you get all daily, fresh Broncos content all year long. So do me a favor, lock us in, hit that subscribe button. Now let's go over the major week 2 of OTAs, all of the massive takeaways. Peyton Manning, funny enough, showed up at least for a little bit today at Broncos OTAs, and Bo Nix clearly impressed with his ability to connect with his wide receivers. RJ Harvey's hands, way better than advertised. Jeremy Creshaw has an iron leg. He was skyrocketing some punts. And Devon Vele is impressing. We'll talk about him a little bit later on in the episode as well. All of this just to say this. I'm excited to see the offense. It's early June. There's not too much to go on, especially without being played in pads. So everything that we have seen has just been kind of like the connection between Bo and his wide receivers. It's all mechanical. It's all structural. It's not a full 100% contact style of football right now. But regardless, I'm excited to see what this offense has in store for the 2025 season. Another thing that I wanted to mention about Bo specifically was he seems to be gelling with his wide receivers, which is a great thing to see. And this is the time in order to communicate well with your wide receivers, get on the same page as them, understand the route concepts, and start to get timing and all of that down before you head into mandatory minicamp and training camp. And the quarterback's, OTA importance, at least in my opinion, threefold. Are your mechanics structurally sound? Check. He's never had a problem with his mechanics. He's very good mechanically. Number 2, the memorization of the play sheet. Well, we saw in week 1 of OTAs that Sean Payton was saying, he's just spitting out plays left and right. Doesn't even have to think about it or repeat them like he did in his rookie season. And communication with your wide receivers and your weapons. He seems to be doing that as well. Talk to Cortland Sutton, talk to Marvin Mims, talk to Troy Franklin, each on their ability to run routes and where exactly Bo wants them to break. So all 3 of these, check, 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 and it's great to see. Now, there were some notable no-shows, and before anybody lights me up in the comments section, Garrett Bowles and John Franklin Myers did not show up to the OTAs this week. By the way, Sean Payton, aware of both, and was totally okay with all of this. In fact, he went on to say that John Franklin Myers will be at mandatory minicamp because, by the way, OTAs, completely voluntary, and was not concerned at all about Garrett Bowles. So I look at this as a non-issue, but it was noted that they were not there at OTAs. Both veterans, both voluntary, both I'm not worried about, although John Franklin Myers seems to have the contract dispute that is looming up in the air, whereas Garrett Bowles probably just had some time off. Not worried about it. Now, if you love every single day full of Broncos coverage, do me a favor, like the video. Helps out the channel, completely free, and just make sure that more content like ours shows up on your YouTube timeline. Now, I'm sure the reason you clicked into today's video, let's get into the 3 players that have stood out at OTAs. 3 players of note that I have seen repeatedly have their name show up again and again and again. The first one being Evan Ingram. Now, I'm not going to use the J word. I know that a lot of people are getting, desensitized to what that word means. But it did come up a lot today in discussion, and Evan Ingram said he felt honored to fill that role for Sean Payton. Now, Zach Stevens, our boy Zach Attack, was spewing out some tweets left and right, and I greatly appreciate his ability to keep us informed. But Evan Ingram has had really good instincts, according to Sean Payton, and he's playing really, really well. And I want to start off by saying this about Evan Ingram. Mark this down. He is going to be a focal point in this offense. I think one will be, obviously, Courtland Sutton. Two is going to be Evan Ingram. And if you can duplicate the 2023 season, or at least come somewhat close to that, somewhere between what you did in 2022 and 2023, I think you're looking at a Pro Bowl level season from Evan Ingram. I think he's fluid. I think he understands the type of role that is going to be fit with him in Denver, and he is going to have one electric season if he stays fully healthy. And that's for every player, right? Because you never know about injuries, and that's something you can't really control. So if if Ingram can stay healthy, I think you're looking at another really important weapon for Bo Nix heading into year 2. Speaking of weapons for Bo, Devon Vele has been impressing. Didn't hear much about him week 1 of OTAs, but it's clear that something is brewing there for Devon Vele. Could he potentially be the wide receiver 2? Zach Stevens, again, one more time, talked about different OTA takeaways. And the one thing that he mentioned was that Vele continues to impress. And I thought back and I said to myself, okay, well, continuing to impress means that week 1 during OTAs, he was playing well. And going back to last season, the latter half of the year, he started to really impress. Could this be the breakout season for Devon Vele? I think so. I mean, if you look at he played in 13 games last year, but he only made 7 starts. And in those 7 starts, these are pretty respectable numbers. Now, currently, I have him as wide receiver 3 on this depth chart. Marvin Mims at the number 2 spot. But those could change very, very quickly. Depending on the chemistry that he has with Bo, I think Devon can make a very, very good carving for himself in that wide receiver 2 role. Now, why do I say that? Well, there's one deep dive, one analytic number that leads me to believe that this could be the wide receiver 2 connection Bo's looking for. Devon Vele's quarterback passer rating, so meaning what was Bo's passer rating when targeting Devon Vele? 118.4 in only 7 starts. I don't think this needs to be said, but I'm going to say it anyway. Those are elite numbers. A 118 passer rating when you're targeting any player is outstanding. So when the connection is there, they're firing on all cylinders. And that's the most important thing to see. So I'm really excited to see where Vele goes heading into year 2, for Bo Nix at least. Which Broncos player is impressing you, by the way, the most at OTAs? Let me know in the comment section down below. I think there's a variety of players that I could list. So I'm going to say 2 right off the bat. I'm going to say Evan Ingram, and I'm going to say R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey we talked a lot about in week 1. And while he is impressing still at week 2 or during week 2, there's one other player that we'll get to here in just a second that has kind of stood out to one veteran player on the Broncos that we have to mention. But before we get to that, I have to tell you all about this awesome Bo Nix shirt that I found over at Fanatics. And right now, you can go find this and start shopping this shirt and other Broncos gear today. Just use the link that I've put in the comments and description of today's video to start your Fanatics journey right now. It is that simple. And if you're like me and you want to gear up and get ready for the 2025 season, do it with this link right here, chatsports.com/Bo Nix T. Okay, back into the third player that has been standing out. And again, a player that wasn't mentioned nearly as much as he should have been during week 1, Jahdae Barron, our first-round pick. And I say that because there have been some kind words shared about Barron from the best player on the Broncos and the reigning defensive player of the year, Mr. Patrick Surtain, PS2, said this to Zach Stevens when asked about how Jahdae was progressing. He brings a lot of versatility to the defense. He's smart. He's savvy. He makes plays. And it's a big addition towards our team. I know he's going to make plays on the team, and he's catching up so fast. It's a great addition to this team, just kind of regurgitating over and over and over again. And it wasn't just Jahdae that had kind things to say. Sean Payton reiterated. He is extremely smart. His instincts are really high. And Payton then added he's played inside and outside corner, meaning slot corner and outside corner. So the vision for him is obviously cornerback, but inside and outside. One word reaction to all of this: versatility. Isn't that what we've been preaching about Jahdae? Is that he is so gifted, he can play in a multitude of positions. Slot corner, outside corner. He could even play some safety if he put on 5 to 10 pounds. I think you're looking at a player that is going to be a focal point alongside Patrick Surtain for years to come. Now, all of this, of course, is just speculation because we haven't seen him play a single NFL snap yet. But I look at Jahdae Barron as a key piece to this Broncos secondary, especially alongside PS2. You could be looking at the best next dynamic duo. Does that mean that Jahdae is going to play CB2 and you're going to have to shift Riley Moss outside of the starting lineup? It's possible. Does that mean that he primarily starts in the slot corner and he has a rotation with Jaquan McMillan? Another possibility. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops throughout the year. Now, again, the last part of our video before we wrap up, I'm sure you're all wondering, what's the latest on the J.K. Dobbins news? Well, Sean Payton, being Mr. Zipped Lip, as he usually is, didn't have much to say about it. In fact, he said, he's a really good player. We'll see where it goes. And that was about all he had willing to say about it. So Sean Payton isn't going to divulge any information about the Dobbins meeting, not until there's something concrete or a plan going forward to sign Dobbins. And I expected as much. I did not think that Payton was going to come out and say, yeah, we're really close to getting a deal signed. Obviously, it was just a visit. It was just dinner. But there is mutual interest there. And Sean Payton went on to say that adding a player like Dobbins could take them over the top and just give them that extra edge, which all of which is just up in the air. It's very vague. So you can expect more of the same until something develops, at least from Sean Payton's side of things. He's an old school coach. He's not going to divulge any information. So it is a wait and see situation. I mean, I don't think anybody is super surprised about that. At least I'm not. If you are, then welcome to Sean Payton's, style of running a football team. That's all I got to say. But either way, it has been 2 weeks of really good football from the Broncos. I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far. Now, mandatory minicamp is coming up, and we're going to have videos for you every single day, June 10th through the 12th. Mark it down on your calendar. And remember, we're 100% free. ESPN Plus costs like $120 a year. If you want to keep up with your favorite team and have it be 100% free, not a penny out of pocket, hit that sub button for me. My name is Moose. Remember to like the video, share this with a Broncos friend in your life. Until next time, be cool.